Iron Void is a British doom metal band, and one that has they've had a fair number of lineup changes. They had a kind of a false start in the early 2000s with members of Solstice and otherwise, but it seems to have all come together later on, and now they're on their fourth album, four or IV, however you'd like to pronounce that yourself. And there's a couple different ways to look at this. I kind of see it as a little bit of the Maryland doom metal sound, while also featuring uh, a lot of the best that came out of 90s British doom metal. So everything from Solstice to a little bit of Cathedral and so on. And what this record does is, well, basically, I think this is their fourth drummer between four albums. But uh, one of the fellows played on the a couple earlier, and it kind of defined their sound. It was a very serious, somber, traditional doom metal sound, and this one opens the door a little bit back to a little bit of their more psychedelic doom metal touches, some of their more pentagram leaning songwriting, and just introduces more of what they can do. And you consider that their oeuvre or just their influences or whatever it is. But I'd likened it to maybe a little bit more early obsessed in their sound without going, stoner rock or just heavy rock with it. And this is one of those albums where you really could kind of point to the songs, and that's sort of the memorable part of the album is the songs, not so much the style, but that depends what you like about doom metal. Um, so here, there's obviously a couple standouts, and they'll be obvious when you go and listen to the album. I won't harp on it too much here, but Living on the Earth is a little bit more anthemic, sort of their Sabbath side coming out. Um, Grave Dance, kind of one of the, I think it was the first single, expounds on that. But when we get to She, which is I think on the second side of the album, it's kind of an unexpected, I would say, Solstice esque song, and it is very memorable. I was surprised I didn't see more people talking and writing about it because it does represent something a little bit new and something exceptional from Iron Void, and that's kind of the way that I would sum up my experience with it. Is that it's something a little bit new and tonally more broad from Iron Void, and something just kind of better. But it's still traditional, but less dire, less for as serious as the state of the world is from their point of view, how dire things are. This album has a bit of a warmer tone and less of a desolate, depressive feeling than some of their previous records did. And maybe that's just per tradition and the type of doom they were playing before. So I noticed some subtle differences there that I've obviously exaggerated a little bit. I don't think this will alienate anyone who's already a fan, and I do think it is one of their better releases. But we'll see how it holds up over time. And I give it a high recommendation. I think it's going to be very palatable for pretty much anyone interested in traditional doom metal and some of the heavy psychedelic rock touches nearby, but mostly the traditional doom side of things. So check that out if that's your kind of thing. And there you go.